I'm gonna get in this thing. That'll work. Alright, so fired up. I crunk it. I can't remember, end of last week. Today is Wednesday. So let's see how she does. Alright. What I want to do, big old car. Do have a fella that says he's interested in buying it. I'll be honest with y'all, don't really want to sell this car. I just want to drive it and enjoy it, finish cleaning it up. You can see how much better this side looks. But can't remember if I filmed it or not. I know y'all got to see it get warm, right? Well, broke both the bolts off in the thermostat housing with no effort. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and pull the radiator and both hoses and flush it out. And then I'm gonna fire the welder up on the truck. And I brought some nuts and an impact, and I'm gonna try and get them dudes out of there so I can get a thermostat and a new gasket and fix that. Because whether he buys it or not, I still want to be able to drive it. But I can't remember if it's the video before this one or if it's this video. But anyway, there's fitting to be a bunch of changes going on, guys. Obviously we enjoy the hot rodding, but got other stuff going on in life. We're gonna try and get into some investments where maybe here in a few years I don't have to work my full-time job, and then I'll have more time for building hot rods. And I mean, I'm still gonna weld and fabricate and do whatever, but it'd be nice to not have to go to a 40-hour-a-week job. And so that's what we're gonna kind of start working towards. That's kind of why I've put some of this stuff up for sale that I really don't want to sell. Like I don't really want to sell that 66 GTO. I got a fellow supposedly gonna come look at it too. The C10, I didn't really want to sell the C10, but I just, I've got a few cars I absolutely won't sell. There's a piece of insulation, window track failed or something. But that's just kind of where we're at, and I'll kind of update y'all a little bit more with it as time progresses. But I am going to continue to try to post on YouTube. It might drop to where it's not a full video every week, just depending on how much we have going on and what I've got to keep up with. But that being said, I hope y'all are enjoying the channel. It has grown quite a bit. And I don't want to just quit doing YouTube because I enjoy it. I enjoy talking to y'all. And obviously, I'm still going to keep hot rodding, so might as well shoot some footage and share it with everybody. But I'm telling y'all, I love this car. So, that being said, let's get it fixed so I can drive it some more, whether the fella buys it or not. Got the upper rad hose off of thermostat housing, got the lower one off the water pump. That hose just makes a loop. It's an old heater core hose. And then I had a heater core hose down there at the bottom, got it off. Now I'm gonna try to pull the radiator and the shroud together. I don't know if we're gonna be able to, but I'm gonna try. But I am gonna PB blast some stuff because I don't want to go through this with every bolt. Honestly, truth be told, y'all, I put barely any effort into them 2 bolts that I broke. Okay. I ended up having to pull the shroud loose, which is just 6 bolts, not a big deal, and kind of pull it off to the side and pull it out. So I got the rad out. There's the shroud. Now guys, this is the original 55 rad for this car. See right there. which is really cool. It does have some cracks in the tank. It does leak just a tiny bit, and it probably needs to be recored or replaced. I'm gonna take it to the shop and compare it to the 57 radiators I have. I don't know. I don't think the radiator is the problem. I think it was the thermostat, which I'm gonna eliminate. But I am gonna flush the motor too while I've got all this tore apart. Just, you know, I'll pull the radiator out. Pull the thermostat out. Get a new gasket for that, put it back together, and then stick a water hose in there, fire the car up and let it run and kind of flush out whatever we can. I'm going to flush this out as well. Just try and do the car a little bit of good, but I think I'm just going to no thermostat it. It's only got one heater core out of the 3 that's any good, and it's the one under the driver's seat, I believe. I think both of those are bypassed, and the only one hooked up's that one. Which it probably needs to be bypassed too, but it's all good. This is where we are. So I'm going to work on getting this housing off. I'm going to heat it up for a minute and see if I can get the housing off, which will give me more to put the nuts on that I'm going to try to weld to them studs. And kind of go from there. I'm going to wipe some of this stuff down while I got it apart. I thought about painting that, but I think it's actually just going to clean up pretty good. If you look in here, it looks like somebody has painted the inside of the core support before, and then it had new bolts in it. So I think it's been apart before. My assumption is that they neglected to replace the thermostat. But that's where we are. Keep plugging along. I'm gonna go with the thermostat was the problem. Unfortunately, I got a little too eager and broke it. But you see, there's still about 1 inch where the hose is going to engage. So I'm just going to clean this up. I'm going to take it to the shop and wire wheel the inside of it a little bit. Clean it up. Get a new gasket. I think it'll reseal. I actually have gasket material, so I could probably make one. Use that one for a template. But I broke the... Where's that? Broke it. But I'd say that's probably the original or close to it. I'm gonna get it out, grab the vacuum out the pieces, and I'll try to keep it out of the system. But got it off. Can you dig it? I ain't even got to fire up the welder. So evidently the bolts were seized in the thermostat housing. That's why I had to beat on the housing so hard to get it broke loose. So you can see the area that it was actually in the housing. Same thing on that one. So there we go. Easy enough. I don't think I'm going to put a thermostat back in it. I think I'm just going to let it ride. I had that set back in there so that when I welded nuts on it, I wouldn't get any BBs inside the cooling system. See, I brought nuts and the impact and all that, but looks like we should be pretty well jammed up. I just need a gasket, and I'm going to flush that out. Flush this out. But I'm not going to flush this till I got the housing back on it. That way the water hose goes in there and we make less of a mess. As far as getting water all over the motor. See, it needed a little flushing. So, let it run a little bit. Maybe it'll get some of the junk out of it. There wasn't a whole lot of solid stuff, but it definitely got some buildup in it. I might flip it over and do it the other way too. The puppers aren't happy. That little one right there wants to come play in this water. Holly. Ray. Just thinking about something. Thought I'd share with y'all. Look at this. Look at this beautiful blue sky. Now, we have had 4 inches of rain over the last probably 5 days, and we're supposed to get a bunch more rain, not today, but tomorrow and the next day. But I just, man, it is so beautiful out here. God is so good. You know, it's sometimes it's worth just slowing down, you know, just enjoying it. I sat on the swing this morning. I work at night, so I know a lot of folks don't, but I work at night, and so I got up this morning, just drank coffee and sat on the porch swing and got to enjoy this. And we live in the woods, and I prefer it that way. Obviously, our dirt driveway is a lot of work. I constantly have to get on the tractor and work on it, but that's okay. The gasser stays pretty dirty because of that, but that's okay too. I wouldn't have it any other way. But anyway, I wanted to share that with y'all. I went and checked my rain gauge, and there was 2.5 inches in it. There was 1.5 inches in it the other day when I emptied it, and we're gonna get some more starting tomorrow, I believe. But I'm gonna finish flushing this stuff out, and then I'm gonna run to the shop, stop by the parts house, see if they have a gasket for it just for fun. They probably won't, so I'll probably make one. But and then all the stock stuff, all the new old stock parts I got with the car, I don't remember seeing a thermostat or a gasket. So that being said, y'all, anyway, hope y'all are having a great day. I'm gonna get back to work. I'm gonna flush this thing best I can. The radiator's still over here. I rinsed the hoses out too. They had some gunk built up in them. That one might have a little left in it too, but I've been filling the radiator up, letting it, rinsing it till clean water come out, and then flipping it over and doing the same thing. And I've gotten a lot out of the radiator, so I'm gonna do it with the car, and then go get cleaned up and run to town, and then run to the shop before I have to go to work. But you can see it's got a little, it's not clean water, but let it run a little while. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. And hopefully this will solve our problem. The tank is cracked on the radiator, but I really don't want to replace it if I don't have to. You can see there, and then on the front as well in a couple of spots. But we'll get it. I don't know. I'm going to take it with me to the shop and compare it, because I got 257 like date coded radiators, which are worth money to people that are nut and bolt restoring cars. I'm just going to put aluminum radiators in my cars, good Chinese made eBay ones. But I have a 57 aluminum radiator currently, and I'm on the fence of putting it in this car. If that radiator will serve the purpose, I'd rather leave the 55 radiator in here, even if I've got to add a little water, whenever I fire it up to drive it for the day. Just throw a gallon in the trunk or something. I'd rather leave the 55 radiator in this car because it's just cool. But I don't know. That's what we got going on. So I'm going to keep, I say that a lot, don't I? But I'm going to keep piddling with this. And then I do want to try to clean a little bit of the dash with that 409 and steel wool. Get some of that staining off of it. I mean, I haven't even wiped the dust off of it. You know what I mean? That would be cool if that comes out green again up there, and bring some of that white out, get some of that staining off of it. Turn the pressure up a bit. We're starting to get some dirty water out of it now. A lot of that's just rust, but it'd be good to flush it best we can. Thinking I'm gonna take that air cleaner with me too, the top and the base, and rattle can it gold like I did the diff cover. I think that would look good. All right, I'm getting ready to pull the car back in the garage, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get the 409 steel wool out. Look at that. Look at the dash. Man, that's really gonna change the inside of this car when I do the whole thing. Okay, I couldn't stand it, so I did a little bit more. and it could use more scrubbing than that. I'm just playing, but look at the difference it makes. I mean, it's gonna make a huge difference when the whole thing's done. Back at the house, gonna work on the Buick. Cleaned up some parts yesterday at the shop, including the inside of this crusty dude. And this end, it is broke, but the hose was sealing down here, so I think we're gonna be okay. Hopefully. I can hear my voice echoing in the hood. Got 2 new bolts. Reusing the same lock washers. And then, believe it or not, O'Reilly's had the gasket. $1.56, and it's sticky on one side, so I'm gonna clean the PB blaster off the surface of this where I put it in the holes, stick the gasket down, start working on that. I did buy another can of gold paint because I decided that our air cleaner contraption needed to be gold. So I sprayed that, sprayed the surface, or the lid I mean, so it's drying. And then start putting everything back together. Well, she's all back together, filling it up with water. Gonna try to look for leaks, although the ground's pretty wet. But I'd say that that gold air cleaner looks good in there. Definitely worth the extra can of spray paint. I had the base basically painted and run out of paint, so I had to go buy a can, but we'll use it for something else. I like the gold. That's the same gold I did the diff cover in. I think it looks good under there. It's a nice touch. I thought about painting the valve covers gold, but I think it would be too much. I think the air cleaner kind of sets it off. You know, it's not quite a Moroso, but looks the part anyway. But I did end up flushing. I pulled the heater core line off this side and flushed through it and got a lot of nasty stuff out of that. So hopefully we'll pretty much be jammed up now. And I did put it together without a thermostat, so we'll see. Get her fired up here in a minute. Make sure we can burp the coolant system. I wish I'd have brought got a little thing that goes in the top of the radiator that you can fill with water, and it acts like a tank. So it makes sure you get all the air out of it. And I got Ray Ray here. Where's helping? Got your chicken. You can see where it's already starting to seep. Those 2 cracks there, but these back 2 are actually dripping. But that's okay. Like I said, that as long as it doesn't run hot, I don't care. You know, if I have to, what I'll do is I got an old milk jug. It's almost empty in the fridge. So I'll finish it off and wash it out, fill it up with water, and just keep it in the trunk. But, you know, even if I've got to get the water pitcher, like I got a sink in here. I got a water pitcher I water the dogs with. But even if I have to, you know, pull the cap and top it off every time we fire it up. But like when it's set in the garage, there'd be a tiny puddle under it, but I'd open the radiator cap and it'd only have dropped just to the top of the core below this tank that's just seeping. So I'm not really worried about that. I don't want the motor to run hot, you know, and hurt anything. But I just wanted to show you all that. I really need to get some floor mats. This thing is getting nasty, which my dirty feet don't help. But I meant to grab some yesterday because I got a bunch of them at the shop, but I didn't. It's just gonna idle. Look at there. All right, I'm gonna let it run and keep an eye on the coolant. Keep it topped off. Try to get all the air out of it. Letting her idle until the temp comes up. And then we're gonna go test drive it. It's climbing, so everything's good so far. But I'm gonna go grab the bill of sale and the insurance, and we're gonna go ride it around the neighborhood. Here's where we are, out in the middle, so hopefully it'll stay there. It'll be good. I get back, I'm gonna clean the rest of this dash. Okay, test drive was not a super success. It was fun driving the car, but by the time I got to my buddy Fernando's house to help him with some aluminum turbo piping, the car was hot, and now coming back it's hot again. But I don't hear it boiling this time, so I'm thinking probably the radiator cap was the issue before, but it is pushing water out of it. But the temp gauge is definitely higher than I'd like to see it. But I don't think anything's hurt. Thinking maybe we got a water pump issue. Yeah, see, it's climbed even more since I shut it off. Let's see. Let's see if it'll fire up. So what I'm thinking, if you got it running with the radiator cap off, it's barely moving any coolant. So I'm thinking that's what our problem is. I'm thinking maybe the water pump. So I'm gonna let it cool off. And then I'm gonna drain it and I guess pull the water pump out of it, because I want to check, make sure before I order one, because they're not cheap for this thing. There's that intercooler piping. He hooked me up, gave me a blow-off valve. Been collecting parts. I want to eventually build a single turbo LS Ratty GTO out of one of our really junky cars, just because it'd be fun. But there you go. But I'm pretty sure this has been a long video. I'm not really sure. I know I've shot a lot of footage over quite a few days. But that's okay. I'm gonna attempt to get this cap off without burning myself. Anyway, love this old car. Man, this thing is so cool. I'm not at all upset having to deal with this little piddly stuff. The motor's not hurt. Everything's fine. Runs really well. Drives super great. I mean, I have no complaints whatsoever. You know, this is just part of it. It's been sitting for a long time, and it is 1955 original as far as I know. So it's a cool car. Hope y'all have enjoyed it. I hope y'all are all doing very well. You know, we are. So God has sure blessed us. I hope he blesses y'all. Y'all have a good one. See you later.